Dude, I never know how to start these things. Ooh, I hit my mic.
Yeah, it is kind of awkward.
Wow, we're started. So,
We can't stop, and we won't stop.
okay.
Sorry.
So what's up, guys? Welcome back to
Welcome back.
this Surf and Turf podcast. Hopefully, we're on our schedule now, back in our grind.
Back on the grind.
So Chicken, when are you gonna wear a different shirt for the podcast?
So I won't ever probably. I'm not gonna lie. I always wear a different shirt. I had to make sure that I actually had a shirt on underneath. Sometimes I don't wear a shirt underneath.
I never wear a shirt underneath my sweatshirts.
So if I was just like, oh, well, no. Sometimes I always wear a different shirt underneath it if I wear a shirt. But sometimes I excuse me.
When you come home, do you always just throw that jacket on?
Oh yeah, all the time. This is like my around the house jacket. So like I don't really wear it outside of the house. So like it doesn't really get dirty. I don't really like I wouldn't really say it gets dirty, you know. It's not like, oh, this is my like dirty jacket. But I definitely wear this outside of the house all the time.
The funny
Or
thing,
not outside the house. I wear this inside the house all the time. And the reason why I like it is because it's not like a typical sweatshirt. Like it's very thin. Like extremely thin. Like I have sweatshirts.
How long have you
What?
had that sweatshirt?
I've had it for like a while. Like if you can tell by the video, like it's very thin. Like it's not very baggy or very baggy. And I like it. I like that's what I like about it. Like I like that it's not like super baggy because I don't want a shirt or I like it. I like to be free. I don't like to just be like, I'm like fighting with my clothes all the time. But dude, there's just something about this sweatshirt that I like. I don't know what it is. I just like this sweatshirt a lot.
Now, how often do you wash it?
How often? Actually, that brings up another good point. I actually have 2 of these sweatshirts. I kid you not. I literally have 2 of these same sweatshirts that I wear because I like this sweatshirt so much. This is my favorite sweatshirt. It'll always be my favorite sweatshirt.
So if
And
you
I have
guys
2 of
need to
them.
know what to get Chicken for Christmas,
Yeah, if you need to know,
get him that
shop for
sweatshirt.
your boy for Christmas. Give me a sweatshirt.
Starting
Oh,
a GoFundMe to get Chicken 7 of those so he can wear a different one every day of the
Dude,
week.
the thing is, the funny thing is, I got this from Kohl's, and if I think Kohl's are like universal, right? They're not like
I think so.
yeah, like Kohl's are everywhere. I got this from Kohl's, and they don't make them anymore. Like you cannot find these sweatshirts anywhere anymore. Like,
Really?
you just can't. Yeah, they don't make these sweatshirts anymore.
How would you
Which is
feel
like-
about one that's like the same but it says something different on the front?
Well, that's what we're trying. My mom actually got me one for Christmas that is it's a Star Wars one still, but it's like different, you know, it's different. It's the same like
Material?
different fabric.
Oh, it's different fabric?
Well, it's sort of like different fabric. I guess it's not different fabric. It's the same fabric. But it's like the same general concept. If that makes sense. Like it's thin. I just like the thin. Like I like having just like something comfy to wear around the house. I like having a hood because when my hair gets a little longer, it like is getting my face sometimes. So I just like having the hood to like pull my hair back and live the dream.
Didn't you at one point used to put your hair into like a bun when you played video games?
I used to put it back like in a hairband.
Yeah.
And that was a long.
Was that
time
before you
ago.
had the sweatshirt?
No, it was about the same time, but like that was like sometimes like I just don't want to wear the sweatshirt, so I'd like have a hairband and I would just put my hair back like this, and the band would just kind of like keep it up. And my hair is kind of getting long to that point where I could probably do it again.
I thought your wife was giving you a haircut last night.
Yes, she is supposed. Well, she's gonna do it today, actually.
Now we just doxed ourselves that we are doing this a day after we did last week's.
Yeah. Well,
Oops.
things aren't perfect. I thought about that. I thought about that when podcasts. Like, what's acceptable to like film? Like, is it like a day in advance?
I think a week in advance is fine.
Like a week in advance.
So,
like,
just full transparency, we're doing this a week in advance. We were behind on schedule a bit, and so we're trying to get ahead. That way that we can have stuff edited, and like we said, we're gonna hopefully on Thursday be throwing out a short for you guys on multiple social medias to tease. Wow, this one, so it's probably already up. Go run up the numbers, boys.
Go run up the numbers, boys.
So we're trying to record a week in advance. That way, also something were to happen that we couldn't record, we've got one ready for you, and that we can be editing it and have it up on time, and not have what happened a couple weeks ago happen again with the in-person one.
The good old in-person one, baby.
But there's been times where we've shot like 2 in one day, I think before, and I've made sure I put on a different shirt. Like, I've gone and changed my shirt. And that was like at the very beginning. And then I got on, then I realized Chicken wears the same shirt every podcast.
Yes, I do.
So
that I do.
On Chicken's perspective, there's only been one that was on a different day. And that was because I was sitting next to him.
Yeah.
And I died.
And I died. Yeah.
But yeah.
And like, but like, just like to close up that little topic.
Okay.
Like, I always wonder, because I'm like, is it acceptable? Because it's like some of the things we want to talk about, like, hey, we want to talk about like something fresh.
Yeah.
And like, is it like, can I wait a week to talk about this? Because it's like, it's not really like fresh. It's not like in people's heads as much.
Yeah.
Like what's appropriate for that?
Like how we took a long time to get to meta.
Yeah, like we took a while to get to meta. Like meta was already like basically like everybody was talking about it at that point. And it was like, oh, like, is this, do we want to talk about this? Like, how do like what do we do at this point?
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think. You think if it's okay for us to record in a week in advance? Or would you rather us record like a day in advance and you might not get one week because we didn't have time to record? You let us know.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters either way, if you want me to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they'd rather us
like as long as we
consistent.
Get the content out.
Yeah. Because if we would record like on like Fridays or even Saturdays, it's not guaranteed that we could always record on a Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, there's no guarantee that we can get it done.
And I think a lot of other podcasts record a week in advance. Some will record like 5 in one day and then just put one out every week for like 5 weeks.
Yeah. Like so yeah, and that's the truth. And like that's why I always wonder, like, hey, like when do we film? Like, is it acceptable to talk about something? Because like there is something that I kind of wanted to talk about for a little bit. That's like, it's like old news, like it's very old. Like,
well, the thing I have to talk about, I googled it beforehand, and it came out in 2020. So
see, like even that, like,
but it's something I just found out about, and I don't think you know. You might know, but
well, now I kind of want to know.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's
I
talk about yours first, and then we'll.
So I went into my local Pokemon card shop, and I was buying some Pokemon cards. That lunchbox right there, and I walked in. I was like, "Yo, what Pokemon?" They're like, "Hey, how can we help you?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm just here to look at some Pokemon stuff. I just want to see. Like, I'm here to buy some cards. I just want to see what you guys got." And so they showed me. I was like, "Yeah, I'll take the lunchbox." And as I'm paying for it, I'm like, "Hey, do you guys play TCG?" And the dude's like, yeah, we play TCG like pretty much every night that we're open. And he said tonight we're actually playing um MT MTG. And I
Yeah.
was like, uh? And then the one dude in the back was like, no, dummy, he means Pokemon.
Yes.
And I was like, oh yeah, sorry, I meant, or no, that's what, he said, yeah, we're on TCG player. And I said, no, I mean like, do you play TCG? Do you guys have TCG like events here? And he was like, yeah, we have, and the guy was like, no, dummy, he means Pokemon. And I was like, oh yeah, sorry. And he was like, sorry, there's so many different types of TCG, and we're
Yeah.
doing Magic the Gathering tonight. And the guy in the back was like, well, yeah, but he's buying Pokemon cards. Obviously, he meant Pokemon.
I mean, yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I mean Pokemon. And they said, not right now. Pokemon has very strict rules on allowing them to have tournaments, and I googled it, and Pokemon canceled all tournaments for 2020
Yes.
or 2021, and so they can't. They're hoping in 2022 to be able to host tournaments, but they can't do anything um, in 2021. So I don't know if you knew that or not, because I talked to you about it before, and you're like, yeah, hopefully they'll do it, but they literally can't.
Yeah. So I think what he is referring to is what they would consider like a sanctioned tournament.
Yeah.
Um, so when I fun fact, guys, I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, and not even like when you think like, oh, like in middle school or like early high school. No, I literally played Yu-Gi-Oh in college. like other kids, literally. Let me spell the scene for you. Like freshman year of college, you get into college, and like there's kids that are like, hey, like you gotta come out for our fraternity, like you gotta like drink, we gotta go to parties, we gotta drink all this time, like Friday night people are doing keg stands, drinking a bunch of uh, drinks, and your boy is
Like G
literally
Fuel?
at what?
Like G Fuel?
Yes, sure, drinking G Fuel. But your boy is literally like, while everybody else is partying, getting, plastered, your boy is sitting at a table playing Yu-Gi-Oh with like either like really young kids or like 40-year-old virgins. And like I'm sorry to say that, but it's literally and I only say that because like I want you to imagine like these guys that are playing Yu-Gi-Oh, like they're like the nerdiest kids I've ever met in my life, and they're just like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and like Friday night, like, oh guys, let's go play some Yu-Gi-Oh. And oh my gosh. But yeah, we would play. So there's basically like sanctioned and unsanctioned tournaments.
Okay.
Like an unsanctioned tournament would just be like your local thing. You kind of just like do it. You just kind of do it at like your own pace. Like if you have like 10 people show up, like, oh, like let's just do, five rounds, whoever has, the top three at the end get like store credit for like $20 store credit,
Yeah.
$5 buy-in, 10 people, you're making like 20 bucks. Like it's a lot of people do it for the people. Like they want people to come and play and
Yeah.
have fun. And it's good outreach. But then there's sanctioned tournaments where you go and it's like a bunch of people. Like you're talking like 500 people. I went to a sanctioned tournament for Yu-Gi-Oh in Philly actually,
Oh, really?
and there was literally like 500 people there, I think.
Oh, wow.
And you play like 8 rounds, and then at the end, like the top like 64 get like an invite to like the national championship for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Hmm.
Um, Needless to say, I did terrible that event. I think I won my first round, and I was like, oh dang, like I got good momentum. One round one, and then I literally lost like the next four, and I scooped after that
Dang.
because I was like, there's no way, like and it was getting late, and I'm like, I just want to go, like I'm tired, like And like at that point, I still lived like 3 hours away from Philly, so it was like now I'd be like, oh, I'd stay as late as I want. I only live. I'm really doxing myself right now. I only live like an hour from Philly. Back then, like I lived like 3 hours, so it was like, yeah, I want to go home because I got a long drive home.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't think I mean, my guess is that they do like unsanctioned, but they
yeah,
abide by the sanction rules.
yeah, probably.
Like, since Pokemon is saying they're not doing tournaments, they're not holding. Because the store's not. I've showed you like pictures of the inside of the store. It's
Mm-hmm.
not big enough to do like 500 people.
Oh yeah, no.
But
But
so
like
I'm hoping to
even
get. I'm hoping to get. I told him, I said, yeah, I said I'm working on building some decks, and I've been playing a lot of TCG online, um, and have been wanting. And they were like, we play a bunch of other games. I said, and they're like our Fisher Piece. I said, I do, and I see that you play a lot of other games. I was into Pokemon. I was like wondering if there's a reason you guys didn't play Pokemon, and he was like, well, that's why. And then he tried to sell me on playing Magic the Gathering, and I'm
no,
like,
dude.
I'm not that much of a nerd.
Magic. I would never play Magic.
They play
Don't ever play.
Fresh Blood too.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah.
There's like so many. I'd say Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and probably Cardfight Vanguard are the most popular.
They do Vanguard.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, it's been so long since I've been in that kind of game.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, Cardfight Vanguard. Dragon Ball Super is kind of popular, but
Yeah,
I'd say
I'm just gonna
I'd
stick
say
to
the
Pokemon.
top three are Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon. But like the thing with Pokemon is like I feel like people legitimately don't even really like Pokemon, like playing it. They just like the cards.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's like the sad thing. Like you have all these cards that are so expensive because
Yeah.
people just like collecting them and they're rare, like collectible, you know? And it's like that kind of sucks for the rest of us, you know? We're just trying to like play and it's like we can't even play because people are literally buying. I mean, granted, the cards that most people want aren't cards that you'd play in Yu-Gi-Oh, you know? Like we're talking like Charizard. Like there's a couple good Charizard decks, but it's not the Charizard that people are going after, you know? It's like the Charizard from that like OG Charizard art.
Yeah.
And like personally, I really think Pokemon kind of makes those Charizard cards like kind of weak. Like I still think they make them like strong, but I feel like they dumb them down just a little bit because they're like, hey, there's gonna be so many people that want these, and they're gonna sell ridiculous on the secondary market. So maybe we should just like make this not a very good card so people don't literally spend like $200 on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe they just don't care about that. They probably don't. Let's be honest.
But
Yeah, dude. I'm the same way. I'm trying to get into the Pokemon card game.
yeah.
It's been so long.
You got a place that plays unsanctioned near you, right?
Yes, they do but like they don't
That's-
even do like.
That's why I was confused when you said that last night, and I was like, because I already was planning on talking about this on the podcast,
Yeah.
and when you said that they did, I was like, huh, and you're like, why? And I was like, I'll tell you tomorrow when we record.
Yeah, they do. Theirs are very like low key, very low key. Like they don't even have. They don't even have. Sorry. They don't have like a buy-in. Like you don't have to pay to get in. You don't have to like pay to enter or do anything. You literally, it's free. Like it's all free. You just show up and play pretty much. Which like I'm all for that. I love just being able to show up and play. But then like I don't know, like the competitive in me is like, oh, like I kind of want to have like that reason to win. Like I want to have a reason to go big or go home.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like, I don't want to grill like this 6-year-old that I'm playing. You know,
Yeah.
like it is like a factor of like, hey, like because like Pokemon is geared towards like younger people. Like that's the thing with like Magic, the Gathering, and like Yu-Gi-Oh isn't really like a younger kind of. person game. Like Pokemon is geared more towards younger people. So I
And
don't
I
want to
mean,
go
I
and
think
just
it's
like,
becoming more adult now because we were the
yeah, don't get me
kids.
wrong, yeah.
I mean, 25 years ago, we were the kids that it was targeting, you know?
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. There's definitely a there's definitely like is people that are like our age going. But like I'm saying, there's also gonna be like kids going, which
Yeah.
is the issue of like, hey, like, do I just like blow this kid out of the water and like make him go home and cry to his mommy? Or like do I like take it easy on? Like it's a serious thing. Like, what do I
Yeah.
do here?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
That's a
telling you,
tough one.
it's hard.
But
It's a hard knock life, bro.
I was talking to my aunt yesterday, and we were talking about, uh, like Christmas and stuff. And I this is a warning that if you are under the age of 15, skip like 30 seconds in advance. Um, we were talking about maybe a little bit longer, like 45 seconds in advance. But we were talking about like how Santa and stuff with kids. And then we were and we started talking about the Tooth Fairy and how my cousin, when he found out the Tooth Fairy wasn't real, I don't think we got anyone that young watching us, but uh, how he handled it, and he found out it was his mom. What?
No, finish your story and then I'll grill you after that. Just finish your story, then I'll grill you.
But he found out it wasn't his mom. He was like, "Mom, you're the Tooth Fairy, right?" And the reason I'm talking about this now is the his instead of like a quarter or whatever,
Yeah.
she gave him Pokemon cards underneath his pillow for his tooth.
What?
And I was like, you know how cool that would be? Like
That is kind of lit though.
and I was like, if he took care of those, you know how like much better that is than like a quarter.
That is.
And,
Cool.
and I was like, dang, dude, I got Pokemon cards
Yeah.
under
That
under
is
my
kind of lit,
pillow.
actually. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I started
imagine
knocking out
just,
my teeth.
like it's not the Tooth Fairy anymore. It's Ash Ketchum bringing them, bringing them Pokemon cards, taking your teeth.
I was like
bringing them
that. I was
Pokemon
like,
cards.
then my next thought was like, I could see Austin doing that, like being like that dad that's
Oh
like
my gosh.
putting Pokemon cards underneath. And I was like, I could see myself doing something like that too. But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
First
And then he after he busted her, he lost a tooth, and she just was like she forgot, like she was like, oh, he knows it's not the Tooth Fairy anymore, so like the magic's
like,
gone
what's
or
the point?
whatever.
Yeah.
So the one morning he came in and went, Mom, and she was like, what? And he was like, my tooth is still under my pillow.
Oh
And
my
she
gosh.
she was like, what do you mean your tooth is under your pillow? Um and he was like, I didn't get any Pokemon cards last night. And she was like, oh, so we're still gonna do this, huh? And so he gave her Pokemon cards. And then she said one like Black Friday they were on their way to go see Santa, and he was in the back seat and he was like, Mom, uh are you Santa? And she was like, what? And he was like, are you Santa? And she was like, how about we talk about this on New Year's? And he was like, okay, because he like realized, hey, when I called her out for being the Tooth Fairy, I didn't get Pokemon cards. Imagine if I call her out on being Santa, I'm not gonna get any Christmas presents.
That'd be a big rip, dude. Ripperoni.
So roast me.
Okay.
Grill me.
So, and you might roast me back, to be honest. When you said if you're the age of 15 and under,
I was just trying to be safe.
I had no idea where you're going with that. I was like, what are you trying to say? That if you're 15 and under, you need to fast forward. Is it something inappropriate? Is it something that you learn in like sex ed or something? I don't know where you're going with that. I mean, obviously you weren't going that way. I was hoping you weren't going that way. But like, I was like 15 and under.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
My mom believed until she was 13.
Okay. Maybe I should.
And as a youth pastor, I've heard horror stories of youth groups making jokes about Santa's not being real, and that's how like sixth graders found out. And then like sixth graders are like crying and stuff.
Interesting. I'm trying to think of when I was like, okay, Mom, the gig is up. There's no Santa. Right?
You know how I figured it out?
How?
You know, like that water furnace we had in our basement?
Yes.
My dad was like working on it and he was showing us how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and he was like, that's what those pipes are on the roof for. And he's like, kind of like the chimney up there. And I was like, Dad, since we don't have a fireplace or a chimney, how does Santa come? And he said, you see this little flap right here? And he's like, that's how the tooth, and the flap was about like that big.
Yeah.
He was like, that's where the tooth fairy and Santa Claus come through. They come through the pipe on the top, and they come through that, and that's how they get in the house. And I was like, but isn't there like a fire in there? Isn't it hot? And he was like, oh, they're magic. And I was like, well, if they're magic, couldn't they just like phase through the wall? And he was like, well, you know what? Santa Claus actually, he has a key to all the houses. I was like, so Santa Claus is just breaking into our house? I was like, Dad, you gave a strange man a key? And he was like, how about we talk about this when your little brother's not around?
Oh my gosh.
But then one time we were at my grandparents' and I went downstairs.
Yeah.
And like my grandparents live in like a house where like you enter on the second floor, but like the basement, only half of the basement's underground. The other half is like, it's like on a hill, you know.
Oh, it's like a split level.
Kind of.
Oh, no. It's not.
It's not a split level.
I see what you're saying now. I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
so it's like on a hill. So like there's a door in the back and like windows in the back that go onto the backyard. And I go downstairs and we left the blinds open. And I'm probably like 12, 13, old enough that I know the Easter Bunny's not real. Well, my brother's 2 years younger than me, and my cousin's 5.5 years younger than me. So they both, my brother was like at the age of like, it probably wouldn't have hurt him if he saw it, but my cousin was like little. And I walked
Yeah,
I walked downstairs and I look outside and I see my grandpa and my dad hiding the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, let's go upstairs. And they were like, why? Why? And I was like, oh, let's just go upstairs. And I think my brother was like, no, I need to grab something. I was like, no. And he ran out. He was like, and I was like, shh, don't say anything to Cole. And then we went upstairs. But
dang. See,
but,
that's funny. That's funny that you say it because I remember I found out about all of them like at the same time because my cousin legit told me that they weren't real. My cousin was legit like, oh yeah, the Easter Bunny's fake and Santa Claus and all of them. And I was like, no, it's not. And I think I remember going to my mom and asking, and she was like, what? like kind of upset kind of deal, but like also like you're gonna figure out at some point, like, you know, it was bound to happen.
Yeah.
But like here's my thing. Like if you don't figure out like that, like what's the age that you tell your kids? Like where it's just like it goes from it's not from Santa anymore. It's like it's from mom and dad, or like
you wanna know something?
Sure.
That could be embarrassing. I still get gifts from Santa. My dad gets gifts from Santa. My mom gets gifts from Santa. Now we all know.
Well, yeah. Why?
My grandpa, when he was alive, got gifts from Santa.
I just why?
And the funny part is it's normally the expensive gift. Like, it's normally like the big gift is from Santa. So like my parents don't even take credit for it. And there's been years, and now it's kind of like when you want something to be anonymous too, because my grandma will buy stuff from me and write from Santa on it. My mom and aunt, like everyone does it. Will get something for someone and say Santa on it, and so the only way you can know for sure whose it is if you match up wrapping paper. If you're like, oh, this wrapping paper is from this person, but. Yeah, it's kind of... But, like, if it's someone in my family, it's like, who is that from? Because we all use the same wrapping paper.
Oh, my God. Imagine. Santa got you an Xbox and your mom got you a stick of gum.
Santa got my brother an Xbox one year.
Hey, there you go. But, like, I like that, actually, though. Because it's something that I think my mom does with my nieces, where she gets gifts... Like, she'll bring gifts from Santa, and then she also brings gifts from her and my stepdad.
Yeah, we just never stopped doing that.
We just,
and one year, my dad made when he was a little kid, made a big deal about how Santa wasn't real. And he had found some of his Christmas gifts that were from Santa, that he'd asked Santa for, and that's how he figured out that Santa wasn't real. And then he showed up at Christmas, and that gift wasn't under the tree. And he was like, "Where's my whatever?" And they were like, "Oh, that was supposed to. You asked Santa for that. When you said you didn't believe it anymore, he must have taken it. He must not have delivered it." They returned it. They returned his gift because he found it. And so he's like, "I still believe." He goes, He says, "I don't see the benefit in not believing. Because if I believe, I still get gifts. So why would I stop believing?" So and my whole family's like that. They're like, I believe in Santa. Because honestly, what's the benefit of not? You stop getting gifts then.
I mean, you make a good point. Literally imagine.
I try to drink with my cap on.
Oh my gosh. Imagine being a kid.
I know.
And you find your gifts and then they're not there. I would be like so mad.
Savage move by my grandparents.
Dude, that is literally the most savage
You know what would be even funnier? Is if your brother got the gift you asked for. And he said it from Santa. He's like, oh, I've always wanted one of these. How does Santa know?
I've always wanted one.
Oh.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. They legit took back a present. Oh my gosh, dude.
And with that same thing, so my grandpa was terrible at getting my grandma gifts. Well, my grandma's just terrible with gifts. When you buy her a gift, you better. A lot of us started wrapping the receipt with the gift because we knew it was going back.
Oh my gosh.
And like one year, my grandma like loves apple themed stuff for some reason. Like her whole kitchen's like apples.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so one year, and they always have bird feeders and like bird houses around their house.
Yeah.
One year, my grandpa got a apple bird feeder for her, like an apple shaped bird feeder, and he was so excited for it. And now my grandma was a snooper, so he bought it for her and like he would hide his gifts at like our house so she wouldn't find them.
Oh wow.
She would order things online and have them shipped to our house.
Oh yeah.
And stuff like that. So, because even if you wrapped it, she would like go along the seam and unwrap, like pull the tape off to see what you got her. Like she's bad. And so he was in the store and he saw her look at this apple bird feeder, and he was like, "Oh, she must really." She saw him stop and look at it, or he saw her stop and look at it, and then keep walking. So he went back and bought it, thinking like, "Oh, that's something she really want." And she was like, "What in the world is this?" And he said, "I saw you stop and look at it." She said, "I stopped and looked at that and said to myself, that's the tackiest thing I've ever seen." And while she's holding this thing that he thought he got, he saw her look at it like he thought he finally got like her the perfect gift.
Oh.
And she was like, I thought that was the tackiest thing I had ever seen. And so now every time she opens a gift or we get a gift from her, we're like, this is the tackiest thing I've ever seen. And David had a stuffed animal Grinch. He went and got his Grinch and handed it to grandmother and was like, "Here, grandmother, you get a hold of the Grinch because you're being a Grinch."
Oh my gosh.
But, so she just recently told me the story of when they were first married, like up in their attic, like an attic space, and like they finished it and made it like my grandfather's office and like made it real nice, and she hardly ever went up there. Mm-hmm. Well, she went up there to clean and looked in one of the drawers and found these boots she really wanted that he had bought her for Christmas. And so she put them on and wore them around the house while she was cleaning. And then when she got them for Christmas, she's like, "Oh, my boot!" Or he gave her the box before she opened it. She was like, "Are these my boots?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "I hope they're the right." He was like, "Yeah, I hope they're the right size." She's like, "They are, and they're so comfortable." And he was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Yeah, I wore them around. I found them, and I wore them around the house the other day."
Jeez.
And he would get, like, going back to getting stuff wrong, she would get a catalog, circle exactly what she wanted. He would go grab that catalog, order what she circled, and she would still be like, "I didn't want this. You got this wrong." And he's like, "I ordered what you circled."
Dude, women are literally the worst to shop for when it comes to gifts. Like, it doesn't matter what age they are the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought those are some funny stories. So, with a little bit of time remaining, what was the thing you wanted to bring up, or are we holding
Oh,
it?
no, it's just something little.
Okay, because we're at 37.
What?
We're at 37 minutes.
Oh, dang.
We can go a little long.
Nah, maybe we'll just say
How long is it going to take? Just say
it. It might take a while.
How long?
Because it might bring up other stuff. I think it'll take a while.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else to talk about while we kind of close out? Because I try to keep it around 45 minutes.
I have to talk about this Guardians of the Galaxy tin that they gave me at GameStop because, and I quote, "I'm a regular there." That's all I want.
And you spend a lot of money there?
Apparently, I'm keeping this one in business, the local one in business.
I mean, look over your shoulder.
Oh dang! I bought that online.
Oh, how you bought that at GameStop?
I did from GameStop online. I didn't buy it in store though. Don't judge me.
Put it on. Put it on.
No.
Put it on.
No, because I have to take my glasses off.
Put it. How hard is it to take? Yeah. Yeah. Put the thing down. Put the thing down. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Yeah.